So The Hangover Part 2 then for me was a great sequel and a great way of continuing the franchise. That can't be said about every franchise because though the Dark World exists.
You must think I'm a piece of bread that needs to be buttered so heavily.
Yeah, that might be the worst sequel ever made. Let us know down in the comments down below if you agree with that. With Hangover Part 2 though, it was like we knew the dance. It was like we knew what to expect from the group. We knew the characters already, so we knew how Alan would try to spike them somehow into getting them on an insanely great night out that they wouldn't be able to remember. And those are the kind of things that happened in this film. But except Alan got his head shaved bald, and we're looking at Teddy going missing, and Stu now has a face tattoo that Mike Tyson has on his face. And I think those things, those variables, those things that changed in those scenarios for me was fantastic. And I think that is what made the movie good. With those new changes in there and with the excitement what the original one brought in and the continuation of the story. However, with Teddy, they didn't really put out a really good fucking brand new song like they did for Doug, which was fucking class.
And then we're gonna find our best friend Doug, and then we're gonna give him a best friend hug.
That for me should be number one. Fucking brilliant. I do think this movie sequel was fantastic. However, what I must say is this was also where the train came off the tracks and the start of the train coming off its tracks, because they started to heavily focus around Mr. Chow instead of in the first one him being sort of like a secondary character, somebody just to put a bit of comedy in there like a Mike Tyson did. I feel that in the second one they not only shoehorned him in but put him into the main story and really writ him in as a hangover main character now, and they did in the third one, and the third one was heavily more linked to Chow than the actual group itself. So to me, as much as I like this film, I do think that this hinders the success of the Hangover franchise and what it could have been without trying to focus heavily on Chow being the main guy in 2 and 3, because I think if they'd have gone down the same route as Alan just spiking the drinks or something different or something on that lines, that's what would have got people hooked in. But I do think they let themselves down a little bit by making Chow a main member. He worked in this one, but I think in the third one, the joke sort of gets old, and I think that's why the third one didn't hit the heights that the first two did, in my opinion. Although, I wouldn't say it's as good as the original, but I do think it was a great follow-on from what the original one did, and had a great and fantastic comedy story written around it. And I think it was different, them exploring Thailand and tracking the steps of where Teddy's going to be, and their insanely crazy night that they went through, and trying to piece it all together. I think that was fantastic. And I think it was also great finding that Teddy was actually in the place where they left it, similar to where Doug was. He was on the roof and Teddy was in the elevator because he went to go get some ice for his chopped off finger, which was another problem that I forgot to mention earlier. And he went to go get some ice and got stuck in the elevator when the electricity went out and got stuck there. So to me, that weren't a bad ending, and then they rushed off to Stu's wedding. And for me, that was a great ending for the film. And like I said, even though it's not as good as the original, I do think it was a solid sequel and a good follow-up for the story. Before we jump back into this video, guys, please do us a massive favour and smash that subscribe button, because you do not want to miss a thing this week, next week, and the week after, because we've got tons and tons of content planned for you guys, and you can do us a massive favour by smashing that subscribe button, joining the community, getting updates to all the latest videos from the YouTube shorts to the actual videos. It is well worth it, completely free, and you will not regret it. So to summarise Hangover Part 2 then, for me, I think this was a 7.6 out of 10 and a great film. Let us know your thoughts down in the comments down below. Good, bad, terrible, amazing. Let us know all that jazz down those comments down below. And if you haven't seen our Hangover movie review, check that out right now.